Hello everyone and welcome to game number 113 of my 1986 New York Mets replay. Today we're at Shea Stadium for a 6-game series against the St. Louis Cardinals. In the days when men really played this, we've got 6 games in 4 days, 2 doubleheaders. And we're currently at 65 and 48. The actual win-loss record at this point was 75 and 37. And on the mound today for the New York Mets is Ron Darling. His current record is 6 and 7 with an ERA of 3.52. So let's go and see the teams. For St. Louis Cardinals, starting off, center fielder Vince Coleman. Batting 2, shortstop Ozzie Smith. Batting 3, second baseman Tommy Herr. Batting 4th, left fielder Kurt Ford. Batting 5th, third baseman Terry Pendleton. Batting 6th, right fielder John Morris. Batting 7th, first baseman Clint Hurdle. Batting 8th, catcher Mike Lavalier. And pitching and batting 9th is the left-hander Tim Conroy. For your New York Mets, leading off, center fielder Mookie Wilson. Batting 2, left fielder Kevin Mitchell. Batting 3, first baseman Keith Hernandez. Batting 4 in the cleanup, catcher Gary Carter. Batting 5, right fielder Darryl Strawberry. Batting 6, third baseman Ray Knight. Batting 7th, second baseman Tim Tuffle. Batting 8th, shortstop Rafael Santana. And on the mound, batting 9th, the right-hander is Ron Darling. So, Darling is ready to start this game. And that's going to be ball 4, and he'll walk Vince Coleman, which isn't very good at the start of this game because the top are loaded with people who can steal. So Coleman, 13-14 is needed. So he's going to try and steal. So he's looking at a number of 19. Only 20 will stop him from stealing, and he's going to steal. So immediately they get to second base. Ozzie Smith. Here comes the pitch from Ron Darling. And he grounds that out to the shortstop for the first out. And will the runner advance? He needs to get less than 4, and he doesn't, so he'll hold at second. 1 out, man on second. Tommy Herr. Swings and he strikes him out. First strikeout of the game for Vince Coleman. And as you can see, Shea is a +1 on strikes and a +2 on walks. Oops, dropped my white dice. Not good. Well, I'll look for that later. I'll get another dice, I think. Because I can't see it. Second white dice out. So Kurt Flood. Clint Ford, sorry. Kurt Flood. Here comes the pitch from Darling. And that is going to be hit out to left field. Coming underneath it, Kevin Mitchell for the easy out. And at the end of the top of the first, there is no score. So Tim Conroy warming up. He's going to face Wilson, Mitchell, and Hernandez. And here comes the pitch. from Conroy to start his game, and that is hit hard and straight out to the shortstop Ozzie Smith for the first out. Up comes Kevin Mitchell, and Conroy delivers the pitch. Mitchell hits that out to left field, and he's going to go into the corner, and he'll get a double. So 1 out, 1 on base, man in scoring position. Keith Hernandez comes to the plate. And that's ball 4, so men on first and second now, 1 out. Gary Carter. Range play. Here comes the pitch. And that's hit deep to center field. Mookie's underneath it and he misses. So it's going to get out for a single. So let's have a look. Man on second base to home. Is a +2, which makes that a 5, and the arm of the right fielder, John Morris, is a 0, so 1 to 5, and he scores, and he doesn't make it. So he stops at third, so that will load the bases. So bases dripping with Mets. 1 out, and up comes Darryl Strawberry. Range play. Here comes the pitch from Conroy. That's going to go out to right field. Underneath it is John Morris. And he makes the play for the second out of the inning. Ray Knight. Here comes the pitch, and he strikes him out for his first strikeout, and he gets out of the inning. So after 1, the score is all tied at 0. Coming up for the Cardinals in the second, Pendleton, Morris, and Thirdle. And the pitch from Darling. Swing and a miss for strikeout number 2. And up comes John Morris. Range play. Here comes the pitch from Darling. And that is hit out to right field. And Darryl Strawberry will make the diving catch to take the second out. And in comes Clint Hurdle. Here comes the pitch, and it grounded out to first baseman Keith Hernandez, who collects the ball and steps on the bag for a 1-2-3 up and down. And at the end of the bottom of the second, we still have no score. Coming up for the Mets, Tuffle, Santana, and Darling, bottom of the batting order. Could be an error on a ground ball. Here comes the pitch. And that ball is popped up out towards Ozzie Smith, who makes the easy catch for the first out. Rafael Santana coming up for his first at bat. Possible error on a throw. Here comes the pitch from Conroy. And that's hit out to the right fielder, John Morris, and Santana gets on base. So man on first, and up comes Ron Darling. So pitcher to pitcher for the first time. and ball 4. So Conroy walks Darling for his second walk of the game from Conroy, and men on first and second now. Up comes Mookie Wilson, lined out in his first at bat. 0 for 1. And he's going to walk again. So he's walked, the bases loaded. 1 out. Bases loaded. Kevin Mitchell comes to the plate, doubled in the first. Not the man you want to be coming to the plate in this position. Range play. Here comes the pitch from Conroy. And he hits that out towards Ozzie Smith. And he doesn't make the catch. It gets past Smith for a 2-base. So that will drive in Santana and Ron Darling. But what about the man on first? Let's have a look. He is a 5. L6, S6 is a D6. He'll stop at third. So Wilson will stop at third. 2 in this inning already. And it is Keith Hernandez. Is that a wild pitch? It is. So a wild pitch brings in Keith Hernandez. And that brings in Mookie Wilson. I've got that one wrong. Hernandez will go to third. Brings in Mookie Wilson. Gary Carter, 1 out. Sorry, Henderson, it was a wild pitch. So 3-6. We're at the ballpark. Here comes the pitch. And that's a single out to center field. That will definitely bring in Kevin Mitchell. So 4 runs in already in this inning. Gary Carter. 1 for 1. Got a single in his first at bat. And he's going to walk him. Terrible, terrible performance in this inning. And they're warming up in the bullpen as Darryl Strawberry comes to the mound, to the plate. Here comes the pitch. And he's going to hit that deep out to center field. Underneath it is Vince Coleman. He will take the catch for the second out. So runner on second. So we have to subtract 3 off his base running. So he'll stop at third, and Hernandez will stop at third. Carter will stay at first. So men on the corner as Ray Knight comes to the plate. Possible error. And that is hit out to left field. And Kurt Ford makes the error. So knight reaches on an e8. Sorry, Vince Coleman makes the error. And that will bring in Keith Hernandez. Gary Carter will move to second, and we battered round. So up comes Tim Tuffle. We're at the ballpark. And here comes the... And that's going to be out. So it's a pull home run chance. So that will be a right fielder pulling to left. So he'll fly out to left for Tim Tuffle to end that inning. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 runs come over the plate. And after 2, the Mets lead the Cardinals by 5-0. So coming up in the 5th, Lavalier, Conroy, and Coleman. So here comes Lavalier. And the pitch. Grounds that out to the shortstop. Rafael Santana for the ground out 6-3. Tim Conroy, and they're going to go straight to the bullpen. Ray Soff is going to be the replacement pitcher, but who's going to come in to pinch hit? Jose Akendo is going to come in to pinch hit. So Conroy didn't even make it to the batter's box. So his numbers will be 2 innings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. No home runs, but gave up 5 runs. Walked 4. Struck out 1. So Jose Akendo facing Ron Darling. Here comes the pitch. And he hits that past second baseman Tim Tuffle and gets himself on base. That will bring up Vince Coleman. Coleman, who walked in the first and stole a base. And he swings and he strikes him out for his 3rd strikeout of this game. Ozzie Smith grounded out in the 1st inning. And range play. Here comes the pitch. And he hits that out to the center fielder, Mookie Wilson, who makes the catch and brings the top of the 3rd to an end. with the score Cardinals 0, Mets 5. So where is their batter going to come in? So we're going to take Ozzie Smith out. And Akendo is going to come in at shortstop. So Smith comes out and Ray Soff, the right-handed pitcher, is going to come in. So Santana, Darling, and Mookie Wilson coming to the plate in this inning. Possible range play. And he's going to hit that out to right fielder John Morris, who will make the play for one away in the bottom of the third. Ron Darling comes to the plate. And here comes the pitch from Soff. And he'll ground that back to Darling, who will throw that over to Keith Hernandez for the second out. And back up to the top of the order, Mookie Wilson, 1 for 1 with a walk and a run. And here comes the pitch from Soff. And he hits that out to right fielder John Morris, and Wilson gets on base. Kevin Mitchell comes to the plate, 2 for 2, 2 doubles, a run and 2 RBIs. And there's a possible error. And that is hit out to the center fielder, Vince Coleman. So he's going to get a single. And then he bobbles the ball, and the second error of the game by Coleman. So Mookie Wilson will stop at third. And up comes Keith Hernandez. Hernandez, 1 for 1 with a walk and a run. And we're going to the ballpark. Here comes the pitch from Soff. And that's going to be a single with the possibility of stretching it out to a double. That's hit out to the right fielder, Morris. So Hernandez makes it into a double, and that will score 2 runs. Brings in Wilson and Mitchell to give them a 7-0 lead. And this game is getting away from the Cardinals very quickly. Gary Carter, still 2 out. Here comes the pitch from Soff. And he gets a single out towards the left fielder. Left fielder's arm, so that's 2 plus 2 is 4. And the left fielder's arm is a -1, so 1 to 3 will get him in, and he's going to stop at third. So men on first and third, 2 outs. Darryl Strawberry, 0 for 2, both being flyouts. And a wild pitch will bring in Keith Hernandez on a wild pitch. They're having all kinds of troubles with their performance today, and up comes Ray Knight. Soft is now tired, but he's got to try and do something. And that is going to be a single, and they're going to then go to the bullpen. Coming from second to home on a ball pass, and he's going to score. So another run comes in, and Soft is going to come off. He's pitched 0.2 innings. Five hits. He's given up 4 runs so far. Could still give more. No walks and no strikeouts. So Todd Worrell's going to come in. He is a right-hander. So Worrell has made his warm-ups and he's ready to move. Could be an error on the throw here. And this is grounded out. Ball hit to Pendleton. And he makes the play to end the inning. And after 3, the Mets lead the St. Louis Cardinals by 9 runs to nothing. In the reality, this game was a 3-4 game. So it's a bit different to the actual game itself. So coming up for the Cardinals, Ford and Pendleton. Ron Darling to continue. Here comes Pitch, swings and strikes him out for his 4th strikeout. This is looking like an easy win for Darling at this moment, but things change very quickly in this game. Kurt Ford 0 for 1. And here comes the pitch from Ron Darling. And he flies out to right field, and Mookie Wilson, Darryl Strawberry makes the catch. Terry Pendleton 0 for 1, struck out in his first at bat. Here comes the pitch from Darling. And again, he hits that high to right field, and Strawberry, Canacorn makes the catch, and 3 up, 3 down. And at the bottom, as we go into the bottom of the 4th, Cardinals 0, Mets 9. Strategy's off now, so we'll only be rolling for pickoffs. Here comes the pitch to Tuffle, and he swings and he strikes him out. Santana. He's a righty, so it's here comes the pitch from Todd Worrell. And he hits that out to first baseman Clint Hurdle, who tosses it over to Worrell, covering the bag for the second out. And pitcher Ron Darling comes to the plate. And he strikes him out for his 2nd strikeout, and at last they get a 1-2-3 inning. And after 4, the Mets have a 9-0 lead. Coming up for the Cardinals, Morris, Hurdle, and Lavalier. Morris 0 for 1 in his first at bat, flies out to Right, we've got a range play possibility. Here comes the pitch. And he hits it out to the centre fielder, Mookie Wilson, who dives and makes the catch to take away the single from John Morris. Clint Hurdle 0 for 1. Yeah, he strikes him out. 5th strikeout of the game for Ron Darling. Mike Lavalier, the catcher, he's also 0 for 1. Here comes the pitch from Darling. And that is hit out deep to right field. Strawberry's underneath it, back to the warning track, and he makes the catch for another 3 up, 3 down. And as we go to the bottom of the 5th, Cardinals 0, Mets 9. So coming up, Wilson, Mitchell, and Hernandez. Todd Worrell pitching very well. It's not a lot to compare against with the other 2 pitchers for the Cardinals today. So Mookie Wilson, 1 for 2, 2 runs. Swings at the ball and misses. So the 3rd strikeout in 4 batters for Todd Worrell. He's going to have to go long. Can only pitch to 6, but he's going to have to pitch fatigued. Kevin Mitchell, 3 for 3, 2 doubles and a single, 2 runs, 2 RBIs. And here comes the pitch. And he gets another single. That's his 4th hit. And he hits that past Kendo to get onto the base. There is no strategy because they're so far in front, so we're just checking for a pick-off. Keith Hernandez, 2 for 2, 2 runs, 3 RBIs, and a walk. Here comes the pitch from Worrell. And that's hit out to centre fielder Canacorn for Vince Coleman. Makes the easy catch for 2 outs. Gary Carter, 2 for 2 with a walk and a run. Here comes the pitch, and hey, strikes him out. 4 strikeouts already for Worrell. He's now fatigued, but they're going to hope to get another inning out of him unless he's coming up to bat. We've got Kendo, Coleman, and Worrell. What will they do? Ron Darling pitches. And Kendo hits that out to Kevin Mitchell in left field for a single. And Vince Coleman comes to the plate, 0 for 1 with a walk. And the pitch from Ron Darling. And he hits that out to the second baseman, Tim Tuffle. That's 1-1, and the shortstop's pivot. So it's not a double play. Kendo will get to second, and he makes the easy out at first with a 4-3. What to do? They're going to bring in a pinch hitter. Andy Van Slyke is going to come in to pinch hit. So that's Todd Worrell done for the day. Andy Van Slyke, who's a lefty. So here's the pitch, and he strikes him out. So the 6th strikeout of the inning. And up comes Tommy Hurt. Sorry. Yep, Tommy Hurt. So we're going to go to the ballpark. Here comes the pitch from Ron Darling. And he's going to ground that out to first baseman Keith Hernandez, who steps up to the plate. And at the end of 5, the Mets still lead by 9. So, Andy Van Slyke. He's going to come. He's going to come out. So his game is over, and coming in to pitch is Ray Burris. Burris is a right-hander. And he has his own batting card as well. Let's go and find that. So, as we go into the bottom of the 6th, coming up, Strawberry, Knight, and Tuffle. So Darryl Strawberry will be the first to face Ray Burris. 1 for 3. Here comes the pitch. And he strikes him out, so good start. For Burris. And let's just give you the pitching for Todd Worrell. Pitched 2.1 innings. 1 hit, no runs. Didn't walk anybody and struck out 4. So at least he made a valiant attempt from what is a lost cause. So Ray Knight, 0 for 2, reached the base on an error. And he's got an RBI as well. Could be an error on the grounder. Here comes the pitch from Burris. But that is hit out to centre field, shallow centre, and in comes Vince Coleman to make the catch. So 2 away. Tim Tuffle, 0 for 2 with a strikeout. And he's going to take ball 4 and get on base with a walk. Rafael Santana, 1 for 3. He strikes him out for his 2nd strikeout in 4 batters. And at the end of 6, the score remains St. Louis Cardinals 0, New York Mets 9. All the damage done right at the start of the game. Cardinals seem to have got into the swing of things now, but 9 runs too late. Coming up, Kurt Ford. I dropped another dice. I've dropped another dice. I'd have to find that one. Running out of white dice here. Ah, there he is. So coming up, Kurt Ford, Terry Pendleton, and John Morris. A possible range play. Here comes the pitch. And that is hit out to Kevin Mitchell, who misses the ball, bounces in front of him, and that gets Ford on the first base. And he's going to try and steal. So 1 to 15 will, and he gets the base, so he steals a base. Terry Pendleton. Oh for 2 with a strikeout. And here comes the pitch from Ron Darling. And that is going to be caught deep by Mookie Wilson for the first out. Can he get into first? Into third, sorry. So if this is a 1, he gets third. He doesn't, so he stays on second. John Morris. Here comes the pitch from Darling. And he hits that out to third baseman Ray Knight. Can he get over? Can Ford get over to third? No, so he stays on second. 2 outs. Clint Hurdle, 0 for 2. Here comes the pitch, and he strikes him out for his 7th strikeout of the game. And as we go into the bottom of the 7th inning stretch time, the Cardinals trail by 9. Ballpark crowd crackerjack coming back. Home team, shame. 3 strikes are out, ball game. There you go. There's the 7th inning stretch over. Coming up, Darling, Wilson, and Mitchell. So Ron Darling coming to the plate again. And here comes the pitch. And he hits that deep to center field. Good connection, but Vince Colman's there to make the catch. Mookie Wilson. Possible error. Here comes the pitch from Burris. And he's hitting that out to right field, John Morris. And Morris makes the catch for the second out of the inning. Kevin Mitchell, 4 for 4. Let's roll that again because it should be a red dice. And they're going to walk him. So they're not going to let him have a chance. They're going to walk him. And up comes Keith Hernandez. Here comes the pitch from Burris. And that is hit out to left field, and Kurt Ford takes a couple of steps to his left and makes the catch. And that is the inning over. And after 7, the Mets still lead by 9 runs to 0. damage done in the second and the third inning of the game. So we have Lavalier, Akendo, and Coleman coming to the plate. Ron Darling pitching. And here comes the pitch, winds up. And that is hit out to the right fielder. Strawberry steps back onto the warning track to the wall, but makes the catch for the first out. Tim Conroy, 2 for 2 is done. He's been, what has it said? Tommy Herr. Where is Conroy? Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Because it's not Conroy, that's why. It is Akendo. So it should be Akendo, Coleman, Burris. That's right. Sorry about that. Here comes the pitch from Ron Darling. And Akendo gets on base again. So 1 on, 1 out. And Vince Coleman comes up. 0 for 2 with a walk. Yeah, he strikes him out. 8th strikeout for Ron Darling. And he is now fatigued, but he will continue with a shutout going. Up comes Ray Burris. And he strikes him out as well. So the pitcher came in and batted. Obviously, they've decided that this game is over, but I think it was over quite early. And letting Burris pitch on. Carter, Strawberry, and Knight come into the plate. Here comes the pitch from Burris. And that is hit sharply out to Akendo at shortstop. So line out to the shortstop for the first out. Darryl Strawberry. Could be an error. And that is hit out to first baseman Clint Hurdle, who picks the ball up and steps on the bag for the second out of the inning. Ray Knight. Here comes the pitch from Burris. And that is hit out to third baseman Terry Pendleton for an easy out at first. And after 7, the Mets still leading by 9 runs to 0. So Tommy Herr, Clint Ford, Kurt Ford, I'll get his name right one day, and Terry Pendleton coming to the plate as we are going into the 9th. Tommy Herr coming to the plate. And Herr gets a walk, which is the first walk given up by Ron Darling. And he's going to try and steal a base here. 1 to 16 steals a base, so he's going to try and steal. And he makes it, so a stolen base for Tommy Herr. And up comes Kurt Ford. Range play at the ballpark. Here comes the pitch from Darling. And that flies out, hitting the air out to Kevin Mitchell, who doesn't make it. So it ends up being a single out to the right fielder, and 7 is going to be a +1. Makes him a 4. The arm of the is a 0, so it's 1 to 4. And he makes it home, so there goes the shutout for Ron Darling. And they're going to bring Pendleton out and bring in Steve Lake. Who is a righty. And he's going to come in and pinch hit. And here comes the pitch from Ron Darling. And he's going to hit that out. Back to the pitcher. 2-2, and the pivot man will be the second baseman. So it's just 1. So it doesn't make it, and Flood gets to second. It's just going to go out 1-3 for the first out. Man on second. John Morris. And he strikes him out for his second out in this inning. 10th strikeout for Ron Darling. 1 out away from the game. And it's Clint Hurdle. And he's going to walk him. So the second walk, he's given up 2 walks in this inning. And that puts men on first and second with 2 outs. Mike Lavalier. We've got a wild pitch, so that's going to put him on second and third. And there's action in the bullpen just in case. Mike Lavalier still at plate. And there he strikes him out to end the inning. 11 strikeouts in the game. And Ron Darling takes the win. The loss will go to Tim Conroy, but the score, St. Louis Cardinals 1, New York Mets 5. 2 errors for the Cardinals. Let's have a look at the So look at Boris's three innings. Didn't give up a hit. And 2 walks and 2 strikeouts. Ron Darling, 9 innings. Didn't give up a hit until the 7th. 2 hits, 1 run, and he walked 2 both in the 9th, and he struck out 11. So St. Louis Cardinals 1 run on 2 hits, 2 errors. Mets 5 runs on 11 hits, no errors. So that is the end of the game. Bit of a whitewash game, but I hope you enjoyed it. And we will see you next time. Thank you and good night.